What's good, everybody? It's your favorite villain here. Make sure to subscribe, help the channel grow. Already we're getting it out the way. Today is a new video to a new series I'm likely going to do where I discuss something I have noticed is problematic in the power scaling or versus community, or something in question. So this is the first episode of that where I go over it. If you like this kind of stuff where I break down things that affect the community I'm technically in, I can do that. Anyways, today's topic kind of stems from an argument I had with a couple people last week. In particular, it was about relativity and tiers and power scaling. So I'm going to give my perspective on it, his perspective on it, why I disagree, and you guys can weigh in the comment sections on what you agree with, what side you take. Again, this is entirely subjective. There's no objective rules in power scaling or versus battle. We kind of all made this up to scale our favorite characters, so to each his own. But anyways, here's how it went down. I don't feel comfortable putting characters in the same tiers as fighters if one person has no chance of beating the other. It's not a competitive fight. Let me give you an example. Physically, like just going off physicals, a regular human scales to John Constantine. But John Constantine, because of his hacks, one-shots any normal human. Like, it's over with. I can't put them in that same tier. Now, the original argument was about Four Tails Naruto versus Orochimaru. That's just a broad example I was given on why my stance is what it is. But anyways, when Orochimaru fought the Four Tails, Orochimaru was sick, didn't have arms. Three Tails Naruto, he was messing with. Four Tails, he was like, okay, he can one-shot me. Orochimaru tried his best to fight back, and he couldn't harm Naruto, and he was like, okay, I need to get out of here. I don't put them in the same tier of fighters because Orochimaru had no chance in that fight. That particular Orochimaru had zero shot of winning the fight based on what we've seen in the narrative. I haven't really seen anyone dispute that. Yes, and this goes into a couple other people, their stance. They said, well, they're same tier because Naruto and Orochimaru had similar speed, kinda similar strength. Like a couple categories were somewhat relative. Disagree about the strength thing, especially attack potency. But yeah, because they're tied in a few areas, they're the same tier because they're relative in these categories. I disagree with that because they said you don't have to be able to beat somebody to be in the same tier as them. I just fully disagree with that because if I say you're comparable to me, the implication is you can hang with me in a fight because we're talking about fighting. That's the big picture. If you can't hang with me in a fight, if you can't challenge me, if you aren't a threat to me in a fight, if you are not a threat to win, because that's the purpose of fighting, is trying to overcome someone else via physical force and confrontation. If you can't overcome me and you aren't a viable threat to do so, you aren't relative to me, in my opinion, as a fighter. I don't care if we run the same 40 time. I don't care if we lift the same weights. I don't care about anything. If I have something that one-shots you, we're not in the same tier. So then, because this was kind of a centralized argument based around Naruto, next person brought up was, oh, well, Sasuke and Sakura towards the end of the series are have a vague statement of being comparable near each other, so they should be same tier. But Sasuke one-shots because of his abilities. I said, okay, they're not the same tier as fighters. You might be referring to same tier as attack potency, but we're talking about fighters. If he one-shots her every time, they're not the same tier of fighters. That's just my opinion. That's why you don't see me even really dropping tier lists for a lot of things, because tier lists rely on a lot of things to be true. They rely on a lot of factors to measure up to each other. That's hard to do in a lot of fictional series. Another example I'll give that is kind of like, and the person agreed with me that argued with me about this. I said, based on your logic, myself, real life, the real life villain, real life Splash, would be in the same tier as Prime Mike Tyson as fighters, because I actually have some better certain measurables than him as far as height, wingspan, stuff like that, relative in weight, things like that. Actually, he was heavier than me, but you get the point. A lot of physicals match up. And he said, yeah, you'd be same tier. Same tier doesn't mean you can beat him. I have no idea how I would be the same tier fighter as Mike Tyson when he would kill me with one hit. So that's just mind-boggling to me. So that's my stance as far as power scaling. I feel my logic is very consistent. You know, I asked them, hey, this is my framework of mind when I go into my videos, comparing people, doing versus matchups, all that stuff. Where am I wrong? Like, where have I gone wrong with my line of thinking? They didn't really show me where I was wrong. They kind of agreed, and I said this because we're presupposing two different things. Both of us can kind of be right at the same time. However, I think mine makes sense from the general standpoint of we're talking about fighting as a whole. We're not talking about the little things that make up physicals, little things that make up intelligence, stuff like that. We're talking about what would happen if you throw down, and are you relative when you throw down? If you get bopped on but have same measurables except one category, you're not relative as a fighter to me, because that one category is so crazy that it changes the face of that fight. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this, what your opinions are. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree, tell me why. Keep the conversation friendly because it can help the community. Anyways, it's been your boy, the favorite villain. If you like this kind of series, if you like these kind of videos, let me know and I'll keep them rolling. Anyway, it's been your boy Splash, the best villain on YouTube, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.